John Beesley, the leader.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councillor Ron, you join a very distinguished list of people who've given extremely great service to our town. And I was, in preparation, going through the role of Honorary Freeman of Bournemouth, and I look at it and see that the first two Honorary Freeman who were councillors, the first was John Beale, and the second was Sir Merton Russell Coates. And what occurred to me was that there's a great sense of history going through the list. It's not a very long list, but it is one that represents much that we hold dear in our town's history. And those two names, of course, are known to very many people here in the borough. And then I looked further down the list, and at a time after you became a member, of course, Bessie Bicknell became an Honorary Freeman back in 1976, when you'd been on the council for about 5 years. And then further down, and reminded by the mover, Councillor Ann's recollection of putting her father's service together with yours, of course, during your mayoralty, Cllr Whittaker was made an Honorary Freeman of the borough as well, and went on to serve for 49 years. And so, very distinguished service from some very, very notable former councillors of this borough. I first met Councillor Ron during his mayoralty, and there was an issue that occurred in the local media which wasn't actually terribly complimentary about the town, and we were able to work together for the first time to turn something quite adverse round to good for the sake of Bournemouth. And it was ever since then, Mr. Mayor, that Ron and I have been friends. And as soon as I joined the council back in 2000, one of the very first people to welcome me and be supportive and help me find my way around was Councillor Ron. That is in his nature. That is how he is. And once a friend, always a friend. Councillor Ron, of course, has served on planning for some considerable time. And served as Vice Chairman whilst I was Chairman. And that was a time when I really valued his support and his companionship in what can be a very difficult and somewhat lonely job at times. And I always appreciated that Councillor Ron was really genuine in how he wanted to support me as Chairman, and through some very challenging times when in fact it made all the difference to me. And some years ago, Mr. Mayor, we used to have planning visiting boards once a month, which went to visit probably 10 or 12 sites, and we'd go out by coach, and invariably we went from one end of the borough to the other. Almost always we would find ourselves going past St Clement's Road, and then across the coach we would hear Ron reminding everybody that that was the house in which he was born. I think the companionship actually around that history within planning is one that I will always remember, I will always treasure, and in no small part because of the service that Councillor Ron played in that role. Mr. Mayor, in wishing Councillor Ron all the very best, together with Jackie, in the years to come, I can think of no more fitting a person to join the role of Honourable Alderman than Councillor Ron, and I know that this council, and indeed the people of Bournemouth, wish him very well for the future. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.